All right, welcome back. This is Dwayne from Dwayne's Roses, and today we look at part 4 of our rose garden tour. I hope you enjoy. Across the path is young Lycidas here, which we do really love this rose. It's just starting to get established. Doesn't have a lot of vigor, especially on its own roots, but it does survive at least, and it gives some beautiful as well as fragrant blooms. So definitely love this rose. Behind it is one of mine. This was a seedling that was from Cold Hardy crossed with Aloha Hawaii, and this is, I'm sure in every other climate warmer, will be a climber, no surprise. But this is one branch there. This is one branch. These are sprawled because I haven't supported them. One branch here. It's another branch on the ground down over here coming into the plant, and then there's another one, the far distance. Basically, they've all sprawled outward because they haven't had support. Because even here, they grow long enough they could use support. But you can see all the buds coming out along the canes. I feel this one may do well as a climber if treated as such. I'm mainly using it as a seed parent at the moment, so I haven't really done anything with it. But it does have fragrance. I do like the form well enough. So we'll see with it. And it may have to be grown in a climate a little bit warmer than ours and see how it does as a really large climber. Behind it, as you continue panning over, is one. I had created a breeder with Lillian Austin and Lady of Shalott here because Lady of Shalott wasn't helping as seed or pollen too much, but this one has functioned as a seed parent for me. I'm not controlling it or supporting it, so last year's old canes fell over with all the buds on them. But it recovers so well that you can see all the new canes growing upright. Has a lot of the habit of Lady of Shalott, which is why I'm breeding with this one and back crossing to Cold Hardy with it. As we go up from this one and kind of around the corner of this bed, you can see there are a few perennials that Holly put in here. Fortunately, she whacked out. This is a Hansa seedling that was sprawling everywhere. I was waiting years for it to bloom, and it finally did. That will get dug out here later. And also this is a Henry Kelsey seedling beside it. These were all in for testing, but hidden behind it in the test bed here, we have a rose that finally bloomed. And this one is wonderful. Form, color, everything spectacular. Goes from the mid to dark pink down to a light to mid pink. Opens a little more and has a button eye. It's finished off a few petals, has a few blooms down there, has a few more blooms to go, but you can see all the buds forming around it. This one, we're going to clear these other out and give this one some space and treat it well. This is a cross of a Shropshire lad with a Canadian rose, so this shows what is possible if hopefully it will breed to the next generation. Time will tell. Most of this first test bed are seedlings from Tuscany Superb, at least the first, say, 3/4 of it. And you can tell as these were more red or purple when they open, fading to more pink. But you can see the color of some of the ones that are darker, some of the ones that are more double down underneath the one that's darker. These are all sprawling this direction because the Hansa seedling was stealing their light and they sprawled this direction. Even the pink one. But there's others in the background there as you follow along. Alright, this bed is mostly all Lily and Austin crossed with Cold Hardy, nor the Tuscany Superb spilling into there, but you can see all these plants that aren't in bloom yet. Hopefully this year will be their first to bloom. A few are blooming early on right now. We'll wait and see what happens later with the others. But there's a couple of different blooms and then a lot of healthy new growth coming up, so we'll see what happens. This last row starts with seedlings from Aloha, Hawaii, and this is one I saw bloom last year, and it's just now loading up in bloom buds. It'll be a while still, but it's a fully double yellow with a button eye, with fragrance. Survived the winter even as a baby. We'll see what it does in years to come, and some very vigorous siblings next to it. We flow across some of these Hansa seedlings and on into next two sections are actually from my seedlings I am using that are grown now, that I'm using as seed parents and testing. And so far there's at least some promise in some of them, and the fragrance is carrying through. It is from only one side, so that's a good thing. Beginning to see a variety of colors and form. Really love this one here. Seems to have enough vigor and has the fragrance. And its sibling right here, same color, fewer petals, same fragrance, similar fragrance on this one. And then another seedling, seed parents, that had created all these seedlings, and none of them have bloomed yet. So probably next season. This row is seed parents. Lily and Austin in the corner has been very agreeable. Not good germination percent, but percent of what you can get from it is surprisingly high. Oh So Easy Petite Pink is beside it. That's from the breeder of Above and Beyond. Lady Emma Hamilton getting ready to bloom. This is Dark Desire, the hybrid tea from Ford's. Hasn't been exceedingly helpful yet, but still have hopes for using this one. You can see I've dug out a couple of different plants I was done with, and I'm putting seedlings to test. And then the rest of this row on this side are all my 3 or 4 or 5 year old seedlings that I am now testing as seed parents. A variety of apricot, yellow, pink, and then there's another yellow down at this end that's getting ready to bloom. Behind it is a Cold Hardy yellow that was given to me by a fellow rose breeder that has proved immensely helpful. He's not introducing this one, but it is being used as a seed parent by me as well as others. Next to it is Red Dawn and Suzanne cross, which is going to get moved to the fence because it is sprawling everywhere without support. So it's going to get moved to the fence in place of this one. This is, I don't know, a 7-foot high plant from Above and Beyond, first generation seedling that have several plants the next generation, and it's suckering everywhere. So that one's going to get taken out and Red Dawn and Suzanne moved over in its place. This one here is Tessa the D'Urbervilles, and this time it died back worse than I've seen it die back before, so it is still recovering. Doesn't seem to have lost its vigor, and I can see the first bud just starting to develop, so it's behind and won't be used this year probably. Too short of a season. Next to it is actually a seedling from Tessa the D'Urbervilles that I bred, and this one is a lovely, lovely red bloom, and it does have some fragrance, so it'll be interesting to see how the cold hardiness does. Part of the reason I planted it next to its parent is to be able to compare in years to come. Over here, just recovering from winter and starting to set bud, is Cup Full of Love, one of mine. It's being tested for introduction. It will mainly depend on if it repeat blooms enough. The blooms are spectacular, as is the fragrance, but it needs to have enough repeat. So that's the middle island there. Back at this end, I thought I'd give another look at Lillian Austin now that it's in full bloom and I am busy pollinating but enjoying as it blooms. And back at the other end, in front of 1173, the yellow rose is now in bloom. This is Dwayne's Delight, the fully double one, in front of the double one, which I am using for breeding. But this one has a wonderful tea fragrance, switching over to myrrh. But I love the fully double blooms as they slowly open fully. This is one we have really enjoyed and has been doing fairly well, but does have dieback, so I'll be curious to see how it fills in somewhere that does not have as cold of winters, to see if it fills out larger as a shrub. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of our garden. Stay tuned until next time. Have a great day.